Hello, today we'll talk or we will learn how to programming in Java. So I will talk about basics like totally for beginners. If you don't have any information about Java and you want to learn Java, this is the basics. So I will try to make it as fast as possible because for me, I was suffering when I start learning to watch crash course, but it's the crash course. It's like 2, 3 hours. So I will try to teach you the basics. Maybe 30. I will try to make it 30 minutes. I'm using Eclipse, so you can use whatever you want if you know your way with it. In Eclipse, I will start directly to teach you how to. I have already project and I have already the code, but I want to show you how to make a project. Just press this icon, so it's a new, and it depends to which version you have. It's always new or a new Java project. So you choose the Java. So like I want to make a Java project, and I need to name it. Let's say test. Like this. Why is it? What happened? Okay, if you click on this arrow, you have Java project directly here. I think there is many ways to do the project. So here you choose the name, let's say test, and you can choose what you want, and just you can keep everything like default. You don't need to press next, just press finish, and you will have a project. I missed the names. It doesn't matter the name. This is the name, the project, and the source. So here, what you want. I'm using Java 8, so you can use any Java library you want. In the source, you need to create a package. So you right click in the source, new, and package. You can name it whatever you want. I will name it test and finish. So now you need to create here inside on the source, you need to create a Java file. Just a file here, and you name it whatever you want. I will keep with test, finish. So this is the test. So let's take the go from here. Here you already have a Java project, and sorry, I didn't name it in the right way. Where is the rename? There is no rename. Maybe there is delete. Let's create a new one. Okay, let's create a new one here. New one, a file, test.java. The format of the file should be Java. I forget to do it last time. So test.java, finish. So now we have a Java file. I will copy what I paste there, and I will just delete everything to show you how you will start. So you should start like this. The package should be test because we have a test package here. The name of the class, it's like public class. This is how you start with curly brackets. And the name of this should be exactly the same name of the file. So this should be exactly the same of the file. So public class test, and inside it you need to make a function, main function. It's public static. This function should be static, and void main. The name of the function should be main. You cannot change this, and you need to put this also as argument, string argument, and you put your code here, and it will be the entry to your application. So whatever, if you made another file in the end, this is the entry for your application, and here where you execute your code. So here here how you print something in the console, or you log something in the console. So if you run this in Java application, run as a Java application, we get here hello. So we're printing hello on the console. And that is this is how you start making an application or a Java file, and here you put everything or your codes. So now I will close this because I don't need this project. I will delete it. I make it just to show you how to make a project. So in this project I have the same. In source I have a test package, which is test package, and this is the file, and this is where and this is the main. This is the class, should be the same, the name, the folder of the file, Java for beginner, and here is Java for beginner, and this is the main function, and this line it's inside this, and I put here all the code which I will show you today, and I will uncomment it, and here there is a lot of comments explain how Java works, or some explanation for the code. So it's really helpful to read this, and you can't keep it like documentation. So every time you forget something, you come back to this file and check how you can make it. So we'll start in variables, how you can declare a variable in Java. First, this is the most important thing in Java. The type of the variable should be specified at the time of declaration. So here how we declare the variable, and don't worry about if you see a lot of types in the end, you will not use it a lot, and you will use maybe 4 or 5 type, and the rest you will not use it, because in real life you don't need to use all of this, but you need to know this. So for example, byte, this is the type of the variable of the data, and this is the name you give the variable, whatever you call it, and the value it's 30. And in Java you terminate the statement with semicolon. So this semicolon you need it every end of the statement. So this is a statement, and the end of the statement you need to put semicolon, as here the same. So the length, it's also a number, and you need to specify L here, because the default of integer type in Java is integer. So if you didn't put L here, he will consider it as integer, not as a long. Same with float. If you didn't put F here, and I put this here in the comment so you can read it also, so you can understand why we put F here. We put F here because the default, if you didn't put F, it will be the type, it will be double. Java will consider this a double, not a float. Char character, so you can add only one character here, and boolean, it's true or false, the value. So let's check, like here I show you before how you print something in the console. So system.out dot print and here we don't need this hello. So here I'm printing the edge from here, the variable edge, the variable view count, the variable price, letter, and let's run the application. I'll run the code. So here how you run it, right click, or you can run it from here. You can run it directly from here, or you right click Java application. So 30, it's the edge, and this is right, and this is the view counts. And by the way, the underscore here only to make it easier to read here. So you can't put it without underscore, and you can't put it with underscore just to separate the number. And this underscore, it will not print it. It's only to make the bigger numbers readable for you or for programmers. The price, and if you noticed, the L and the F is not also printed because this is also only for Java to understand that this is float and not a double, and this is in long, not an integer. And the character letter, this is the letter, and the volume true, it's here. So I think this is super easy how to declare a variable. So let's go to, there is two types for variables. Here what we show you first, it's primitive types, and this is, I write you here, this is primitive type, and this is reference type. It's like, and I explain you what is it here. Even if you didn't understand this, you can use it here. So the reference types, I will give you example like a date. And if you notice in the first here, there is some important statement I deleted, and here I will show you how to import it automatically. When you have read a line, so there is an error or syntax error or something, and when you hover on it, you get some quick fix available. One of them, like import data from Java unit, because you need date. Date is not defined, so you need to import it from here. So if you just choose this, it will import it for you automatically. So you don't need, you can write this manually, and the easy way to just choose what you want to import after you hover. So I import it automatically for you. So here the date, and this is how you create a new date, and this is how you print it, because you assign the new date to this variable. So you print it here. So if we run this application again, we got the date, and this is the date and the time. Tuesday, March, the 2nd of March, and 2021. And let's skip now string, easy one. You just here again, the type of the variable is string. You give him a name, and this is how you assign. You should use double quote or one quote, it doesn't matter. And here how you print it. So if we print, we will get Mike. Let's check just fast, and you will see Mike. So this is how you declare a string. Here I will show you some useful method in Java. You can use it on string. So I print it directly, but the methods you call it on the string. So name here, the variable is a string. So this is the function, and this is how you do it. Name, which is the string, dot starts with, and you put here a string, and you put whatever you want. So I put I. So, and this function will check, did this string's name start with I or not. If it start with I, it will return true. If it's not start, it will return false. End with the same, it will check its end with A or not. So in this situation, this should be returned false because Mike don't start with I, and here should be returned true because Mike end with E. For the links, it give you the links of the strings, index of, and in Java the same, almost all languages index it's zero base, so always the first character have index 0, I index 1, K index 2, and E index 3. So if you want to know index of a special character or a special letter, so if I here should be returned index of I, which should be 1. And here replace, if you want to replace something in the string, so here I'm telling the code to replace I with Y. So we will see the output now. And to uppercase and to lowercase, this is what change the string to lowercase or to uppercase. So let's run this fast and check it so we can continue. So here we print the name Mike, the first one, and false, it's here, start with I, and it's not true, so it's false. And this is returned to true, you can see it here. And the links is 4, and this is true. The links of Mike is 4, and 1, this is the index of I. And this is true because it starts with 0, M0, so I it's 1, and this returned 1. And here we replace I with Y, and this is what we get. And to uppercase and lowercase, here to uppercase and here to lowercase. And this is very useful function, built-in function in Java. You can use it in strings. So I will stop this and we will continue. You can find the link for this file and I put the link to repository, so you can clone the repository, or you can just save the file or copy the content of the file. So here, if you want to print some special character, so what if let's do one small example. I will do it here and I will comment this. So let's say let's output this, like run the application. So it's hello. This is hello. So what if we want to print a code? You want to print the code. So you think you can do this maybe, but if you have red line and this is a syntax error, no, it will not accept it like this. If you run the application like this, you will get error. So how we can print this talk? It's special character in the language in Java, so you can't print it like it. So you can use the skip. You can skip a character, and how you skip the character, you put before the character which you want to use, which he have special meaning in the language, you put backslash, so like this, backslash, and before this also backslash. So I'm skipping this, I'm telling Java to skip this and print it, just add this, don't consider it any specific meaning. So I just want it like this, skip it, I'm telling to skip it. So if we output this, let's check what we will get. You get hello with quotes. So we succeed to uh, uh, print the quotes by skipping the quotes. So there is, so here here, if you want to print a backslash, so if you want to print the backslash, so if you put one backslash, it will not print it. So you need to put two black backslash, one to tell the Java to skip this character, and one to print. So this it will print, and this is to tell Java to skip this. So this is should be give hello with one backslash in the beginning and one in the end. This is exactly what we did before, what I show you, the codes. And here the backslash n, it's meaning new line. So this is what you saw, it's in one line, but now when we print it, you will see hello in one line, and this is will make a new line and print hello on second line. So if we print or we run the application and go, so we will see hello with backslash in the front and in the end, and this is with quotes, and this is hello, the first one. There is new line, and again we print hello 2. So it's printed in new line, and this is how you, if you want to print something in new line in Java. I hope this understandable. We go to array. Array, we have a lot of work on array, especially there is many kinds of array. So let's go to the basics. This is the basics. So you can do it. You can make an array with two ways. First one, you need to choose the type. You can store in the array only one type in Java. So here is integer. I call it numbers. This is the name of the array, and you call it like a new integer, and here we specify the length of the array. And the length of array, you cannot change it. Like when you need to choose the length of array when you make an array. So you cannot add or remove anything from this array. And this is how you add value inside it, like numbers. This is how add 10, index 1, index 2, index 3. And this is the shortcut. This is exactly what here, but you can't do it in one line. So int brackets, number, square brackets, number, I call it numbers 2, and with curly brackets you put the value which you want. And you see here array, it's I need to import it from Java entry. So how you print array to the console. So you will think, okay, I will put the name of the array inside the system.out.println, but actually this will not work. Will give you some mysteries or magical numbers. You cannot read these numbers. But if you want to print it, you need to use the array class, array.toString function, and you put the array inside it. So let's run this. So this is where you print it directly, and this is what you get, some numbers, some not readable numbers. And this is how you array.to the string numbers, you print this. So this is the output of this numbers 2. This is an array of numbers. I don't know if you need to use this, because I never use it, because you cannot do a lot in this kind of array, but there is something called list, and we need to import it also. So the array list. So this is how you create a list. So the class list with capital letter, and you specify here what you want to store inside this list. And in this case is integer. and here you name it G array, and you make a new array list, and you need here an empty tag and the curly brackets or this brackets, circle brackets. This is another way to make it. It's exactly the same, but you start exactly the same, you name it, but you put here array.as list and you put the value here directly. Because in this way, if you create it in this way, you need to add the value here like this. You need to put G array, the name of the array, dot add, 3 dot add, dot add. Here you put two numbers. So if you create the list in this way, you need to add the value here. And if you create it in this way, you can put the value here. But even if you create it like this, you still can add more numbers or remove, because you can use the built-in function add, and there is a function remove. Let's check the built-in function for the list. Here you can set some specific position, like for example, you want to set 0, index 0 to this value. This value, it's like ask get here. How if you want to get a value from the array, garray.get, this is how you get it. This is the index. So here we told them to get index 0, the value of index 0, and multiply with 2, and I want to set the index 0 to this value. And here to get, this is exactly what we saw before. And here to remove, you will remove, and here index of, and here content. It's like it will check if this array have the number 2 or not. It will return true or false, and you can check if it's empty. It will return also a boolean, true or false, and the size is the length of the array. And you need to import that collection here. And here how you sort function. If you want to sort the array, you have an array of numbers, and if you want to sort it from smaller to greater, you just sort it like this, collections.sort, and you put the X array here. And here how you print it, you need to put array dot to string, you need to put array, the name of the array, dot to array function. Maybe it's hard to remember now, but even it was hard to remember, you can keep this file. Every time you forget how to print a list, you can come to this file and check here how you print it. So let's run this and check the values. So this is what you get. For example, here you get false, false. This is content 2. No, it's not content 2. I'm asking G array here. G array, it's I add 3 to G and 6 and 0 and 5. So it's not content 2. Is it empty? No, it's not empty. So this is why I'm getting false, false. And the size, it's 2 because I add 3, but again I remove the first one. And by the way, here add, if you want to replace, if you put only 6, it will add to the end of the array. If you put, for example, here 2 parameters, the first it will be the index, and the second it will be the value. So you are adding an index 0 number 5. So before this should be index 0, but it will push this to index 1 and add 5 to index 0. So this is if you want to add something in specific index. You can add it like this. And this is the array which we print. This is this one. We print this one, X array. And this is how we printing. We need array dot to string. And inside this function, you need to put X array, the name of array dot to array function. I hope you understand what's happening here, that it's really easy, and you can come back to this file and check how it's built. And here, if you want to make constants, so constants, it's mean when you declare the variable or constants, you cannot change it anymore. So this is unchangeable. So if you put this value to this, you cannot change this value. You cannot say again you want to change this value, and you do this by adding final in the first. This is all. It's regular variable. Just add the word final in the beginning, and it will become constant. So it will not be changeable, the value of this variable. This was easy. Let's go the if statement. If statement. Sorry if I'm talking so fast, or I'm going with this so fast, but because it's really simple information and basic information, and I don't want you to just I don't want to waste your time by show me typing, watch me typing, because before I suffer from this. I watch some tutorials, some crash courses, and always you need to watch the one who teach you how he type. So this is why I didn't do this, because I want to make it fast and you can understand directly. You can see the code, you can go to the code and download the code or copy the repository, and you can do exactly what I am doing, just comment and uncomment, and you can see the value and you can check how it's the syntax. So in this if statement, this is the syntax. You are checking if something happening, to do something. So I'm saying here, if one equal, and this is how the equality, if you want to compare two things, if they are equal or not, when you need to do two equal sign. If you want to, so if 1 equal to 2, I want to print this. So this is not true, so it will not print this. So, but what if this is equal to 1? What if 1 equal to 1? So he will print this, and if any statement true, he will stop checking the rest. So he will execute this, and he will not take a look what is this, because he will look what this, if this is false. So if this is not true, he will check, okay, this is else if. So he will check again this statement, and he will continue checking until he will reach this else. So if any of this not true or all of them false, he will print this. So, but in this situation, this is true. So let's check what we will get in the console. And he print 1. So it's mean he print 1. He didn't print 2. He didn't print 3. He didn't print last, because he checked this first. So if this is true, he execute this line and stop, because he catch something true. But what if this not true and the second one is true? So this is not true, but the second one, as if, is true. So I think he should print 2. Let's do this fast. And he print 2. So again, he will, if this is wrong, he will continue checking. If this is true, he will print 3. But what if all of them false like this? Now all of them, they are false. This is not true. This is not true. This is not true. He will print this, and let's check if he will print this or not. So he print last. And this is if statement. There is shorthand to if statement, and usually when you want to compare, or you need to do only one of two things. For example, here we declare this variable and we assign this variable to first or economy. For example, the income, it's like 100 million is rich man. So if the income greater than 100,000, and here we asking, like, if this statement true, I want you to assign first to class name. It's mean I want you to return this one. Otherwise, it's mean else economy. So now this is true, right? This is greater than this. So it's mean he will assign first to class name. And if we print class name, let's check what will happen. And we get first because this is true. And what if this is not true? If it's 100, he should, it's not true, so he should go to the else with economy. So this is literally if statement, but it's like we're checking this. If this is true, I want you to return this, else, literally else, do this. So if this is not true, do this, return this. And this is what's happening here. And there is switch statement. It's also conditional statement. So let's say you have variable equal to 1. So this is the syntax of a switch. You write switch, curly bracket, and curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets, you put case, and you put what is the case. So if the case 1, so if x in case equal to 1, I want you to print this. And if not, you break. If not, you go to case 2 and check x equal to 2 or not. If equal to 2, I want you to print 2. And in the end, there is default, which means like else in if statement, the default. If any of these cases true, he will print the default. So now let's check. This is 1, this is 1, x is equal to 1. So I assume he will print this, but let's check this will happen or not. So print 1, he print 1. So this is true. The first case is true. So if we go to equal to 2, so this is the case 2, it's true. So we'll check he will print 2 or not. He print 2, so this case is true, so he print 2. So what if any of the cases true? So we have 2 cases. You can put many cases as you want, but if any of this not true, and here it's not true because the x is not 1 and it's not 2, it's 100. So he should print the default. And let's check, he will print the value default or not. And he print the default. Let's say, let him to print x. I want to, he didn't print x. Sorry, I make a capital letter, should be a small letter. So this is, if any of this situation is true, I want to print x, which should be 100, and he print 100. So this is the switch statement, and you can read the information about switch here. Like here I write why we use break statement after the case. After each case, we should use a break statement and to jump out of the switch block. So you jump out. Like if this is true, he will close it. He will not continue. If this is true, he will not continue. He will stop here. He will break the switch statement. Now let's go to the loop. I assume it's easy if you work with another languages before. You will know for loop from other languages, but if you are totally new in programming and this is the first time, it's loop. It's like if you want to loop on something, usually an array or a list. But this is for loop. So for let's start. Like this is the syntax. It's so easy for uh, brackets, and you don't need curly brackets in for loop. And here the statement. What you want to do here. So inside the brackets, you need to declare a variable. So here you declare a variable. I want an integer. I name it I and equal to 0, and you need to use the semicolon. And here the condition. It's I. Let's make it only smaller than 5. I smaller than 5, and this we increment every time we do the loop, or he go through the loop, he will increment I 1. So the first time I it's 0, when he come back, the condition is still true because 0 first time is smaller than 5, so I will loop again. So I it's small, it will be 1, so 1 is still smaller than 5. He will increment the I one more time, it will be 2, and again 2 still smaller than 5, and he will continue until reach a number not equal to not smaller than 5, which is 5. 5 it's not smaller than 5. So if we print this statement, so we will get the first time the I was 0, because here we print I. Second time the I was 1, and he still this condition is still true, and 4 until the end this is still true, and we increment the I1, so now the I it's 5, and it's this statement not anymore true because 5 is not smaller than 5, so he will stop. He will not continue executing this code. So we printing I every time we go, and we increment I every time we loop until this condition become not true. And when this is happen, when the 5 I it's equal to 5, and it's mean not true. And we can do this one to make some comparing. I smaller or equal to 5. So what this is mean, let's run the, so he will continue looping until 5. This is not true with 6, because 5 it's smaller or equal to 5, and this is true. But 6, when he come to number 6, it's greater than 5, so he'll stop the loop. And this is the for loop. It's so small syntax, so it's easy to use, and there is many kind of loop. Here we'll go to while loop, and the while loop it's exactly like for loop, but we do the syntax is different. We use the word while, and for example, I will make some comparing between while and for loop. Here we declare the variable. Let's keep it 0. Here we declare the variable, and here where we declare the variable in for loop. Here where we put the condition inside the brackets after while, and here where we put the condition in for loop, and here where we put the increment after we execute our code, we put the increment, and this is the increment. So it's exactly the same. Let's do the same. So let's print this. Let's run this, and it gives you 1 to 5 because it's here smaller or equal to 5. So this is exactly the same of this, but different syntax. You just put the declaration and the condition and the increment in different places, and this is how it's the syntax. And now we will go to do while loops. Also the same. If we put this 0, so this is, it will do exactly the same. If we put here equal, so this is also will print 1 0 to 5. Let's do it. And 0 to 5, and this is the declaration, and this is the increment, and this is the condition, but the syntax is different. You put do curly brackets, you put your code and the increment inside the do, and you put the condition or the while after the curly brackets like this. And don't forget the semicolon always. You need to put the semicolon. Without semicolon, you will get an error. Syntax error. The semicolon is required in Java. The only difference between this one and the another two, while and for loop, this it will execute at least once. So let's say this statement is false. This condition is false from beginning, and you run the application, you will get 6. He print 6. He print even the condition it's not true from beginning. So this line of code, it will execute at least once, even if the condition is not true. And this is not the situation in for and while loop. Let's do the same here. If we put the 6, so the condition it's not true, so he will not execute this at all. So this is line, it will execute at least once. This is, it will execute only if this is true. So if we run now, we will get nothing. This is not executed because this is false. So this is the only difference between do while and for loop. For and while loop don't execute it at all if the condition is false from beginning. The do while loop, it execute at least once. And in the end, I don't know how many minutes we record, but I hope it's less than 30 minutes. And this is the end. It's for each loop. And this is only the basic of Java. Actually, Java, it's really big programming language. There is a lot of stuff you need to learn, but this is the basics. Like, let's say this is the start of learning Java. So here I'm making an array and the shortcut or shorthand to how to make an array. I want to save it as a number, integer, and this is the brackets, square brackets. This is the name, numbers, and this is the value. You put it inside curly brackets. So what happen here is 1 2 3 4. You don't need to make it like this. I will put random so you can see the difference. So I will put random numbers, and for each loop, this is the syntax. Actually, this is the syntax only without the curly brackets. Let's make it more easy to see. This is only the for each. So this is numbers, it's array, and here for number it's 1 unit, and you need to declare the type of this. It will be integer, it will be number, because the array it's integer. So number, it's 1 of numbers. So this for loop, it will go, the number, it will be the value of the content of the array. So here to show you what it's mean, this number. So this is for each, it will loop for each one. So how long is the array? It will loop exactly in the same length of the array. So this is 4, it means it will loop 4 times, and each time the value of number, it will be, first time it will be 6, second time it will be 4, third time it will be 8, and the last time it will be 4. So if we print this, let's show you, it's 6 4 8 4, and this is the value of number. So each time he will loop in one of this array indexes, and this is the syntax. It's so easy syntax, and still you don't need to, even if you forget the syntax, you can come back to this file and check how you make for each loop, and you copy paste this code, and you modify it as you want and what you want to do. Here you put your code. So that was it for this crash course. I hope it's less than 30 minutes, and thank you for watching.